Welcome to the desert. This is in fact not the Amazon. I am in fact not even in Brazil. I'm at the Dubai International Airport because I missed my flight into Manaus. Yeah, there you go. There's some kind of jungle. Probably not exactly what you were expecting, but sailor. People forgetting to confirm the airport transfer. So yeah, it's been such a huge stuff up. What happened is, so I was in Rio. Rio was beautiful. Rio was amazing. It was really, really hot, but I got kind of sunburnt a lot, and it was fantastic. A couple of days there were crazy. I flew in and arrived at like 8:30 in the morning and got into my hostel fine and grabbed some breakfast and then went and did a tour of the favela, which was wild. Took a million photos. It was really, really good, really educational, just kind of going through there, seeing how the people live in there. It was really safe. It was like a government-controlled favela, and they had like sanitation and electricity and water and stuff like that. Cat 5 running everywhere where they're stealing the internet, which was fantastic. There was one part where they were actually using Cat 5 to hold up their veranda. They just improvise with anything. Some of the favelas, I mean, they're actually, most of them are built really well. It's not like shanty towns sort of in Southeast Asia, which is just corrugated iron nailed together. They're solid brick buildings. And it comes from, the fact that most of the people that are living in the favelas are all construction workers anyway, so when they get off work, they come home and continue to build their house and stuff like that. It's a really complicated society, which is really cool. What else? And then that night I chilled out and just went to bed and woke up the next day and got out to the beach, which was really cool. Met this wicked girl from New Caledonia. Totally random. But she was mad. She'd been travelling for the last 14 months. She travelled from New Caledonia to France and chilled in France for a while, went to Marseille, and then got on a yacht and sailed across, the Atlantic from France to Brazil. Completely nuts. She'd never sailed before, but she had a friend who did and had a boat and came across, which I thought was pretty mad. Anyway, chilled out in the morning with her in Ipanema. And following that, I went on a day trip just around the city to see Christ the Redeemer, the Sugarloaf Mountains, which are a famous place, Corcovado obviously, and downtown, and saw some cool things. It makes more sense. I'll post up photos and stuff. It'll make more sense what I saw. But Rio's a crazy place. Really cool. And then that night went out to a samba bar again, as usual. Typical. I'm in Brazil. What are you going to do? You're not going to go to typical kind of bars, eh? I had this live music. It was pretty crazy. It was a lot of fun. Got back at like 3 a.m. Because I was preparing to be ready to leave the hostel at 10 a.m. So I hadn't booked airport transfers before because I was just like, I'll just go and catch a cab on the side of the street. And I think it was Monday night, I got back from the day trip, and I was like, oh, shall I leave that up to chance, or shall I actually book an airport transfer just to make sure that I'm not going to miss my plane? So that's what I decided to do, and in what I've come to understand in typical karaoke fashion, they forgot me, and I was waiting down there at 10, fortunately not with much of a hangover, and it got to like 10:15, and I was like, oh, this is weird. Surely they should be here. I got them to call, and they said, oh, they forgot you, but they're coming straight away. I said, oh, okay. And the airport was only half an hour away. My flight was leaving at 12, so at this point I was like, well, it's going to be all right. So they sent another transfer around to come and pick me up, but more errors. There's two hostels that I think bear the same name or by the same company, and so the transfer went to the wrong hostel. So I was waiting around, 10:30, quarter to 11. I was like, what the hell's going on? They called and they said, oh, the driver's outside, or he'll be outside in 1 minute. Just go outside and go and, get to the airport, because the people at the hostel were actually really concerned as well. Yeah, obviously, they were really nice people. And I went outside and waited, got to 11, and I was like, this is still not right. Got back inside and I was like, he's not here. And they said, why are you still here? I said, because he's not outside. And they called again. They said, where are you? And he said, yeah, I'm outside. They said, what do you mean? He's out there and he didn't see you. And then they realised that he was at the wrong hostel, so he had to come across town to come and get me. By the time he picked me up, I think it was like 11:30 or something. I got to the airport at 12 to watch my plane take off. And once again, at this point, I was still not overly concerned, because, you miss a plane, you just catch the next one. I thought it would be fine. So I go to the desk, I say, hey, what's up? Missed my flight, I'm really sorry. Look, can I catch the next flight to Manaus? I don't care how many stops, I don't care whatever, just, can I just get on the next plane and transfer my ticket? And they said, oh, there's probably going to be a charge. I said, alright, I understand. Because, normally I was expecting like a couple $100 or something like that. The guy goes, you've got this round trip ticket, because I had a trip. My flights were booked from Sao Paulo to Rio to Manaus, Recife, back to Sao Paulo. Because I missed that one plane, it immediately cancelled the rest of my trip in this... and I was like, what? I was like, no. I just want to get to Manaus, and then I'll pick up the rest of the legs when I'm there. So why is that a problem? He said, no, you can't do that. If you miss one flight, you miss all of them. And I was like, it makes no sense whatsoever. He goes, oh, this is some flying policy thing. I was like, okay, great, thanks heaps. So what can I do about it? He goes, oh, well, you can pay another $1,000 and we can rebook all the flights for you. I said, what? You've got to be kidding me. And he's like, no, this is, if you'd like, this is what we can do. And I was like, no, I don't want to pay another re-buying another ticket just because I missed this friggin' flight. And so then I was just like, shit, what the hell do I do? I tried to work it out. I thought, well, alright, look, maybe I'll just go to Manaus. So I looked at getting a flight just to Manaus was going to cost 1,400 reais, so that would be 1,400 return just to go to Manaus then. So why not buy it? And it's just the flights are just so expensive. And just no choice whatsoever. So I bailed on the whole thing. It was a real bummer. So I cancelled everything. I think I'm going to get some money back from the flights, but it's pretty much nothing. Fortunately, the rest of my accommodation sort of wasn't paid, and tours and things weren't paid for up front, so that was good. But it's just a super bummer, just missing out on so much. All the best part of the experiences. It was funny. So I caught a flight back to Sao Paulo, and I changed my flight, or international flights, obviously, to today. Or I've completed the first leg of this journey back to Australia. I don't know what day it is. I got back into my city and called my doctor friend and go, Tony, I'm back in Sao Paulo. It's been a whole big mess, big mistakes, all this stuff. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, all right, no problem. Just come around to my place. We'll sort everything out. And then took me out to dinner to probably the best seafood place in Sao Paulo, which was amazing. Absolutely made me feel a lot better. Had some wine and stuff and chilled out. It was really cool. And we were just chatting, and he goes, so you were gone for 3 days? I was like, yeah, that was my holidays was 3 days just in Rio. And I explained to you what I did. I saw a lot, because I knew I was only spending a short amount of time there, so I packed in as much as I could. Thank God, because if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have seen anything. And he just goes, yeah, you've come to Brazil and literally all you've done is work for 8 weeks. And I go, yeah, that's true. It's like, yeah, well, now I kind of feel like a polyester a little bit, because that's all that they do there as well anyway. So this is a really sad video to end off my trip. So I'm going to be back in Australia I arrive at 1 a.m. Friday morning. Just gonna chill out. It's nice. I guess it's nice to see everybody. That's the other thing. This is probably the saddest I have ever been to come back to Australia. Just because it's just such a bummer. I just missed out on so much awesome stuff. But I don't know. Everything possible went wrong. Everything possible went wrong. They forgot me. They went to the wrong place. Everything was late. I couldn't buy a new ticket. There was no possible way for me to get to the jungle because the only way to get there is by boat from the coast or flying in, and so it's just no dice anywhere. So I don't know. Not meant to happen. I probably would have caught malaria or something. Eaten by piranhas. Strangled by anaconda. Or something. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to go back. That's for sure. Because Brazil is just such a wild place. So much fun. But the best part is probably, the best part that I experienced was the people, for sure. They're just unbelievably friendly, unbelievably welcoming, really nice place. So, yeah. This is kind of a long-winded, winding down, closing out of my Gringo adventures. So, yeah. I guess I'll see you all back in Australia. I hope you all have a better ending to your trip than I do. Ciao.